morning everybody, Calm Biker here. It's a lovely morning. I've got my colour coding on. Orange means warm, yellow means cold. Well, it doesn't really, just yellow is my winter jacket. Today it's 19 degrees as I leave the house, so it's summer jacket, thin jumper, and it's lovely. I'm just heading out with Mrs. C on the back of the bike to Flamborough on the coast. I'm going to try and get the drone up around the lighthouses, the fog warning system, and the drinking dinosaur, which I'll have to show you at some point. It's not for this video. And Mrs. C has got her binoculars with her. She's going to try and spot a puffin. The puffins should be coming back around now. We're just about into April. We're probably a bit early, to be honest, to spot a puffin, but you know, she's going to give it a try. And anyway, there's a nice cafe on the seafront, so we can have a cup of coffee. Mrs. C will probably have an ice cream, and it'll all feel very summery, even though it is now just spring. It is actually spring, unlike in my last video where it was the day before spring actually started. For the drone, for the binoculars I think it'd be fine. For the drone I don't think it's actually very good weather. The wind's picking up a bit, but it's not too bad. You can see that from the blades turning, but that's only quite a small turbine, so it spins quite easily. But I don't know if you'll be able to tell on the camera or not. I'm still not used to what this camera does and doesn't see, but it's really, really hazy. We've had very little wind recently, and over again on the news, on the local news, it's warning you that the pollution is high. I'm not sure what you do with that information, because you say, oh, just a warning that tomorrow the pollution will be high. What do I do, stop breathing? I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what it's like, and if not, I'll come back another day. I'll come back another day anyway to show you the lighthouses, the fog thingy, and the drinking dinosaur. We're talking about visibility. I thought I'd just do a quick video about that. Something I've noticed on my bike is with the LED headlights, if you stare at them you go blind. No, that's the sun, isn't it? If you look into these LED headlights, they seem ultra bright. So if you look at the road at night when you're riding along, you can see very little with them. You see like a horizontal line of bright patch on the road. You don't get that kind of big cone of light that you get with the old-fashioned headlights, which I have to say might not look as good stylistically, but I think are better. We'll get that one out there straight away. The old headlights with a bulb, way better than these LED things. Certainly way better than the LED things on this bike anyway. But they don't look as good. But anyway, they're really bright if you look at them. Certainly shouldn't stare into them. And at night, I don't get any problems with car drivers when they see them. They don't flash me or anything at night. However, at dusk, when it started to go dark, people start flashing me as if I've got my high beams on, and I tend to have a finger over the high beam flasher, don't know what they call it really, the overtake, push to pass, something like that, whatever that button is, the one that gives you a quick flash of the headlights or the main beam. I have a finger over that ready to flash briefly, just to let them know I'm sorry, but it is actually just the design of the bike and there's not a lot I can do about it. Once it goes dark it's fine, but I do find with the cars that I'm quite dazzled by them quite often when they've got the LED headlights, or the other ones, I can't remember what you call them, the non-standard ones. No, can't remember the name of it. I should have done my research tonight. But the ones that are incredibly white, sometimes verging on blue, they're so white, I find I'm getting dazzled by them. And I've often wondered, is this a problem with my eyesight? Being a diabetic, my eyes are something I have to take care of. So I've not had a check-up in the year that I should do. Every year I'm supposed to have a check-up. Not had it because of the virus thing causing problems with all our lives. But I've often wondered, I've got a little bit of short-sightedness in one eye, and I've got a little bit of astigmatism which the optician said can cause you to be dazzled, can cause you to see halos around bright lights. Not enough to be a problem, and the opticians always said not enough to warrant glasses or anything like that. They did used to tell me that I'd need glasses by the time I'm 40. Well, I'm nearly 50 now, so I guess they're coming at some point, but I don't need them as yet. But I thought, yeah, maybe it's me. But then I was reading something the other day, reading an article on one of the motorbike sites. In fact, it might have been on one of the car sites, thinking about it. It might have been on the IAM or the AA or the RAC, something like that, where they've done a survey of drivers, not motorcyclists, and not specifically talking about motorcyclists, but talking about drivers and car headlights. And they were talking about how lights have actually got brighter and brighter over time, and now 9 out of 10 drivers find that they're too bright and they get dazzled by them, and the amount they get dazzled varies. So some people estimated that they were dazzled to the point where they couldn't see on the road for about a second after passing a car coming the other way. Some people at the other end said 6 seconds. Now 6 seconds at this speed, that's a long way. Hang on, let's test. So from the straight bit, 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6. That's a long way to travel whilst not being able to see because you've been dazzled by somebody else's headlights. And they were putting reasons for it. Now, one of the reasons is LEDs and the other thing I can't remember the name of being just much brighter and much whiter. It used to be that with a halogen, is it halogen? Right. Used to be with the standard headlamps, they're more creamy colour, aren't they? I remember when I was young, and I don't know if it's still the case now, but I remember being told at school that if you went to France, you actually had to put yellow covers over your headlights to make the lights more yellow, and that would allow you, oh, not allow you, but that was a legal requirement for the roads in France, and that it stopped dazzling. I wonder if we should actually think about that a little bit before bringing out these horribly blue lights. But also there's a lot more cars on the road now that are 4x4s, SUVs, whatever you want to call them, where the headlamps are just higher up. And I do wonder, I've talked about the light out game in the past, I do wonder if there's just a lack of maintenance as well. Apparently one of the biggest reasons for an MOT failure is misaligned headlights. So could that be involved in that as well? So I wondered, you know, are you one of those people who gets dazzled? Do you get dazzled for a second or 6 seconds, or do you just shrug it off? How do you deal with it when you're driving? I tend nowadays to, when I see a car coming in the distance with bright headlamps on, I'm not talking about full beam by the way either, this is just standard headlights. Full beam's even worse, but I tend to just kind of look left as I go past, just to stop that dazzling. And I'm not somebody who's dazzled for a huge amount of time, so I'm not horrendously worried about it, but I do wonder if, you know, if that's something that will progress with age to the point where, you know, half your journey is done where you can't actually see where you're going. So how are you affected? And have you got any tricks for dealing with it? And do you think we should just paint all our headlamps yellow? They're actually talking about a lot of people who've stopped going out at night just because they don't like driving with the brightness of other people's headlights. And one thing to throw in the mix, which was a surprise to me, that it said in the article, I would have expected that the older you get, the more of a problem this would be. But it turns out that it's people between the ages of 18, or I guess 17, being as that's when you can get a licence in this country, but people between the ages of 17 and 35 who are actually the most affected, and older people don't seem to be as affected by it as much, or don't complain about it as much. What do you think? Let me know in them there comments. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone, ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.